Hey everybody, so let's start by saying happy 4th of July. This probably won't be posted till tomorrow, so happy belated 4th of July. Is that what they say? I think that's what they say. That sounds about right. So, this video, same as always. I mean, obvious reasons, I don't really talk to many people. And, because of that, I'm usually alone. So, I decided to take a hike, because that's what I do. Plus, I wanted to check the progress of the berries, and they look like they are going along very nicely. It's actually right about now is when I probably should have picked them. Even the button berries are starting to get there. But, button berries should be at least another 2 to 3 weeks. The black raspberries will finish ripening and molding in that time. And the button berries will just start coming on, probably. I'm not an expert by any means. Let's talk pie. So, I did a little taste test at the end, and I said it was good. It was real seedy, a little bit thinner. The pie filling was a bit thinner than I wanted it to be. It also was ever so slightly more tart than I wanted it to be. I probably could have done without any citric acid whatsoever, but, you know, what do they say? Hindsight's 20/20. Right? So yeah, it is what it is. It's not bad. It isn't bad. Like, it's actually so not bad. The first slice I had, I actually completely enjoyed it with no flaws whatsoever. It was like after the third slice that I was like, okay, well, maybe it is a bit tangy, but yeah, like I said, very good overall. Maybe 2 more tablespoons of cornstarch, or using Sure Gel, a modified cornstarch instead. Would have been better, but for a first pie made from scratch, like really made, not like one of those stupid crunch bunch of graham crackers at the bottom of a pan and throw some pudding in it and call it a pie, like an actual pie, I think it was very good. Like, I still have one left. But one whole pie, the other one's gone. She finally ate a slice. She said it was also very good. It was just a bit tangy, so having a second opinion's nice. There are people on the trail today. There was at least 2 cars. So if I see somebody, yeah, this will be abruptly ended, but we'll probably be alright. I'd imagine they probably just started like I did, so they're probably half a mile ahead of me, so we should probably be alright. I'm wearing pants. I'm wearing pants today. I know, weird, right? Somebody wearing pants in public? Like, who came up with that idea? But no, out of all seriousness, both pairs of my cargo shorts are in the trash. One, I guess when I did that last hike, I must have ripped a big hole in the backside. So, well, there's actually 3 moderately sized holes, so they got trashed. And then today I broke the zipper on the other pair. They were like, oh, the funniest thing is both pairs were almost identical. So, like, if I wouldn't have threw the first pair away, I could have took the zipper off that pair and put it on the other pair, and it would have been fine. For one, I'm not a seamstress. Is that what they call a female that does? I know how to sew. I just ain't practiced enough at it to be that to be my first thought, if that makes sense. So, unfortunately, all my cargo shorts are now in the trash, so I'll have to remedy that situation. Trying to pick and choose what I'm doing at this point, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. She went on one of her bipolar fits the other day. I'm waiting for the next time. I'm just going to tell her that, you know, as soon as spring rolls around, I'm out of here, so she won't have to worry about ever seeing me again. What am I going to do? Die or end up in prison. Probably. But at least I can pretend like I have a life. More than I pretend like I have a life here. You know, I'm never gonna have a real life here. Not the way it is. So, my probation's over in August. I'm not gonna risk trying to just walk away, literally walk away, or even take my bike when it's going to be snow. You know, I would rather have a swift death than freeze to death. That sounds very bad, because more than likely I wouldn't die, I'd just be miserable. So that's probably, that's not the goal. So my intentions are to just tell her, like, you know what, I put up with your crap, put up with mine till spring, you'll never see me again. So, and that's the hope all around. Is it the right choice? Out of all the, like I said before, out of all the choices I have, you know, I'd rather go out on my own terms. So, if it's staying where I'm at, being somewhat miserable, being always threatened, being used and lied to and manipulated, or, you know, leaving and taking the risk, I mean, both outcomes are pretty much the same. I live a metaphorical mental prison here, or if I leave, yeah, there's a good chance I'll be living a literal physical prison. So you know. So it is what it is. The thing that's the worst thing about it is I should have done this a long time ago. Like, I should have did this when I was like just turning 21 or 22. But I kept getting lied to that I could have a life here. Fake friends and backstabbers, manipulators and liars and greedy pigs. And now that it's approaching the area of life where me leaving is straight up bullish, now I'm being showed what the world's really like. So, well, we'll see. So, the plan is, I wanted to get as high as humanly possible. Not on any sort of substance, high as in elevation. For those of you with a more twisted or abstract thinking line of thinking, I wanted to get pretty high up so I could see if I could see any fireworks, bigger fireworks. And I will share the experience with you guys if we do. I'm not holding my breath. Once I got all the way up here, it looked like a lot of the trees are blocking a lot of the clear spots. So, I mean, if it doesn't, we get a nice little walk and talk. I get a little bit of exercise, and I go home and be bored anyway. So, if we can find a good spot, I'll have a few, maybe like 30 minutes of firework footage that I'll either trim up or speed up to be like 15 minutes. And, post that. So, yeah. Like I said, obvious reasons, I'm not really doing anything for the holidays, because who would I do it with? I did think about asking one of the various people of the opposing gender that I think would be somewhat appealing to come with me, but I got several. Like I said, if I'm alone, nobody else gets hurt. Well, less people get hurt. So I just stick to it that way. And I was also thinking that I'd hike up to that area where where we went to the cemetery, and we went all the way to the top to that big power line, and videotape there. But then I took into consideration that we went there really early summer, and it would probably be really grown in now, and I could make it there, but getting out of there in the dark, it's one of those things. I can. It just seems like a lot for next to nothing, you know. Alright, so I came a bit further than I planned, but I passed 2 sets of people, and there were 2 cars out there. One went back towards the cars, the other ones went through the tunnel, so not entirely sure. But unless somebody new came in, we should be all alone for the duration of this walk now. So, and I'm thinking there's probably going to be, I don't know, we'll see. So, funny story. So I was walking, right, and I found some stuff, alright? I found this. It's a G Endurance energy gel with caffeine. Lemon ginger flavored, alright? The components, the ingredients is water, maltodextrin, brown rice, syrup, sugar, salt, citric acid, potassium citrate, natural flavors, xanth gum, caffeine, calcium citrate. Like, the only 2 things on there that even are remotely appetizing is water and caffeine. At first I was gonna say, like, where the heck's the lemon and the ginger coming from? But it does say natural flavors. It's not opened. I never had one of these before, so I'm considering it. But I don't know. Definitely not tonight, because I already drank 2 energy drinks today, and it's already after, like, it's got to be like 7 o'clock. So I'm not drinking it tonight, or whatever you do with this thing. Slurp it. And I did test it, squoze it, make sure there's no puncture marks, and it's completely sealed, and it has enough stabilizers and preservatives in it that are probably, well, it doesn't go bad till October 22nd, so, or October 28th of 22nd, something or other. See that bug? It's a cool bug, right? You can't touch those bugs because they'll die. The fur on their back will attach to the oils in your skin and will pull away from them, and it actually kills them. It's kind of sad. It might not kill them, it might just destabilize them or something, and then they can't move right and they end up dying anyway. So, yeah, I think they're really cool looking though. Like, if it was a Pokemon, it'd be Cutie Fly. Anyways, I also found this thing, which I think is a cheap camera lens, but I thought it was super cool. I asked the first set or the second set of people I seen if they lost it, but they said no. They actually didn't seem too eager to talk to me. They seemed really, I don't know if they were sketched out or just like, maybe it was their first date or something, because they were definitely strange. Like, the girl said nothing and the guy was like stammering over his words. Actually, dude reminded me a lot of a guy I didn't like, but this guy was a lot more clean cut and taller, so I highly doubt they were the same person. Well, he was taller, so they definitely weren't the same person. So yeah, just side note. I think my bracelet's either wearing out or something. I still don't even know if I still can't really say if it works or not. Like, I feel like it's better having it than not having it, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure if that's just all in my head too. The idea, for the most part, makes sense. For the most part. The science behind it, in my opinion, kind of makes sense. It's in a vacuum-sealed bag that's pumped full of, this is pumped full of so many chemicals, and once the air was saturated with those chemicals, like, no more should come out of the bracelet once it meets an equilibrium. I don't know And it still does smell a lot lighter than it did, but it still does smell like the chemicals, so I don't know. Slow release plastic, putting chemicals in the air to keep bugs away. Like, it's feasible, just I don't know how effective it would be. Like, in my mind it works, but it's like putting my fist in a basketball, and no bugs can get through that basketball. Anything beyond that basketball isn't really protected, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it has a radius of a beach ball. I kind of imagine them testing it, like putting it in with like fruit flies in a plexiglass box that's completely sealed, and the fruit flies just all stay away from it. Like I kind of imagine that's kind of how they tested it, like a 1 square foot box with the bracelet in the middle, pump full of fruit flies, and the fruit flies all like fly to the sides. That's kind of how I imagine they're tested. I guess whether it works or it's in my head, I'm still hiking in the woods, so it's a good thing. You know, I'm still getting some exercise. I'm still getting a little bit of, outdoors time. So, last couple episodes ago, when this little disagreement, if you can call it that, happened, I said I wasn't going to talk about it because I didn't want to waste anybody's time or be down. Well, this episode I'm running out of things to talk about, so I did want to tell you that I think the meat and potatoes of the argument was about control and manipulation. Because the reason the argument started was because I locked both locks on the door, which is something I'm supposed to do most of the time, so it's a reflex. And the reason the argument escalated was because I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. You got in the house, learn some manners and ask people. Don't go around ordering. You're no queen. You're not royalty. You're nothing. So that kind of escalated the situation, which I'm completely fine with. I take responsibility for that because, as I said before, nobody should have a right to control another person. Although some people think they what's that called? The kings and queens. I want to call it the cardinal system, but that's not what it is. Hierarchy. Some people think there's still a hierarchy, and they think that this slavery is still a thing, which, who knows, maybe it is. Like I said, I feel half the times that it never really ended, it just shifted. So, that's pretty much the story of, the battle of control and manipulation, part 4. I usually try to take things and break them down to like their simplest form. So like Pokemon. Almost every single Pokemon game is completely a numbers game. There could be some guesswork with a random number generator, but like some players do, which I'm highly against, you can figure out to a very slim degree of what you can and cannot do, like very precisely, because in a nutshell, it's a numbers game. And life ain't much different. Some people are inherently lazy. And if you give those inherent lazy people power, they try to make other people do stuff for them so they don't have to do it because they're lazy. Or some people by nature are control freaks. And you give a control freak power, they're gonna want to control people. And, you know, I said it a million times, between the government and life, schools, households, there's always that the power's in the wrong place. It's common sense. The people that do the work, the people that make the quote-unquote dream happen, should be the people that have the power, not the people sitting on their backsides benefiting from it. Like, not the people running their mouths barking orders. Like, yeah, sometimes somebody has to be in charge, but that doesn't mean they should reap the largest section of the reward. Who does more work? A person telling 10 people to move 1 pile of rocks from spot A to spot B, or the people moving the rocks? So does the foreman get more money for telling 10 people to move rocks, or do the laborers get more money for moving the rocks? You get what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? Does a guy at McDonald's that slaves over a stove 8 hours a day for minimum wage deserve to make less than a guy that sits behind a computer for 8 hours a day, BSing with his buddies? Somebody that feeds the public deserve to make less money than a football player that's strictly entertainment? You know, to me, these things are black and white common sense. But, like I said, the power's in the wrong place. So it doesn't matter how much common sense there is. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. The people that are in control are obviously manipulators, control freaks, and greedy, and lazy. And they're going to continue to get what they want as long as they keep getting fed. So, that's my rant of the day. I'm going to go for a little bit. It's getting on to that time to start cracking some drinks. It's sun's almost down, so I got about 2/3 of a mile to go until we're at the reasonable spot that we might be able to see any fireworks. So I'll catch you a little closer to the end. Little side note, I already shot this clip, but I went on a bit of a rant afterwards. I decided I'm going to take out of the video, but it's just going to be easier to reshoot the clip. So I wanted to talk about something, right? Alright, so I got this beer, right? And I'm covering the label because I don't like their brand. I'm just drinking it because it's the only thing available. And I'm not advertising for them because they do not pay me to do so, and I don't really like their product. So, anyways, their drink, right? It turns the mountains blue when it's ice cold. That's a cool, unique, interesting touch. But is it necessary? Like that's what I mean by the world going too far. If you can't manage to figure out if your beer is cold or warm, then you probably shouldn't be drinking. Like, you already drank too much, or there's something wrong with you. If you're doing a party and you can't manage to put the cold ones in the front and the warm ones in the back, then you probably shouldn't be partying. So that, now, of course, that's my opinion. But it's a cool marketing strategy. But what went into doing it? How much extra does it cost to do it? And how necessary is it? Like, does it get them more sales? Probably. People are stupid. Was it worth it? I mean, is it necessary? Definitely not. And last key point here. You're probably thinking, how did I get ice cold beer after I've been hiking for like an hour and a half? Well, my friends, you see, everything's closed today. So I put 3 in the freezer, and then I put them into a freezer lunchbox thing, and I put ice packs in with them. So I can drink and watch fireworks like a good old American, except I'm doing it alone. Yeah, I can go back to clip 1, you know. It's sad, but it is what it is. At least I got you guys. Alright, I'll catch you guys when we're up there. Alright, so basically, this is our view. Alright, so those trees are a bit obstructing. So, I might try down by the ball field. But I'm thinking that if I'm going to get any good footage, it's going to be on the bridge going back to my town. So, so the sun just peeked down over the hillside there. You can see, just about gone. So I'm assuming people are going to start setting them off. Well, people have been setting them off all freaking day if they can see them or not. It's like, who's wasting the most money, right? Yeah, so it should be through those trees more than likely. And I'll get back to you with a little bit of footage if I can. If not, I'll try to get some footage on the bridge. It won't be as good, but it'll be more public. But it'll probably be very footagey. A little bit of a side note here. Interesting fact. Interesting idea. My grandfather told me that you see those balls on the power lines. You probably see them wherever you're at too. They're pretty common. I was told that they kind of set off like a beep boop on the radar of planes. Now, okay, I can kind of buy into that. All right, like planes should know where power lines are and whatnot. But why would a plane go through this valley? Like, in what circumstances, other than an absolute emergency, would a plane go through this valley? And if it was an absolute emergency, I don't think those balls are going to beep-boop them out of it. So it's just an idea, you know? I was sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so if my pap's telling the truth, and it kind of makes sense, that it kind of gives a bit of a radar symbol for anything in airspace. Okay, fine. But why, in what situation would a plane come through this valley? Like, it seems like another waste of resources and manpower. You know, what do I know? I mean, I could climb that. Have an excellent view. And I probably have to go up to like the second little arm thing there. What do you think?
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you where it's at. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done. I'll be number one, working hella hard until I get just what I want. Yeah, rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooters gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won. Yeah, always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me.